This is gonna be insane. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to launch a $10,000 a month drop servicing business in the next 72 hours. I've made an entire board. It's gonna serve as both a roadmap and a checklist. You can download it from the link in the description below. We have each day sorted out, and we're gonna get into all the details in just a sec. But this doc even has links to certain videos that you can watch to get full tutorials on each one of these steps, so you're never guessing, hey, what am I supposed to do, or how do I do this next? This is the one-stop guide, all you need to see success with a drop servicing company fast. I'm gonna show you what niche to pick. I'm gonna show you how to get that set up for each one of these steps and show you how easy it is to get this done in only 72 hours. I have a $50,000 a month drop servicing business, and I've helped over 100 other individuals set the exact same business model up with a 93% success rate. So I believe this is the absolute best online business that you could be getting into right now. It's not difficult. You don't need to have any previous skills or experience, and this is an entire playbook on how to start, scale, and eventually automate your drop servicing business. You can see here a screenshot of my very first month. We did over $30,000. That was October 1st to November 1st, 2023. It's a little over 2 years later now, and we are still absolutely crushing it with over $2 million in revenue generated. So I'm gonna break down how the business model works and why I think it has such a high chance for success. Quick overview, you get leads for whatever service you're getting into. So this is drop servicing. We're picking a home service niche. I'll get into that in a second, but you're providing quotes and securing jobs, okay? It's not a marketing agency. You're not selling leads. This model is very similar to just subcontracting work, where you own the contact, you provide admin work like quoting or customer support, and you build a business that you can eventually sell for up to 6 or even in some cases 7 figures. This is a scalable, sustainable business model where you are just subbing out the work to someone else to get it done. You're not a marketing agency, you're not selling leads. A lot of people think that's what it is, but it's not. So you get leads, you provide quotes for the jobs, and then you outsource that work to another local company in the area to service the clients for you. You collect payment directly from the client. The outsourcer doesn't do that. And then you pay the outsourcer the labor or the whatever it is they're charging you for the service. Now for the niche, there's only 2 criteria you need to match. It has to be a home service because that has low competition. You have a highest chance of success, and that's why people are succeeding for this business right now. Everyone's going to AI. Everyone's going to marketing agencies. Everyone's doing this, that, and the other with these online business models. Yes, this is an online model, but it's an untapped model that caters to people who need home services. And home services, they're always in demand. Everyone's always going to need them. They're recession proof, and that's why people are succeeding with this right now. The other criteria you need to match is you have to have a simple quoting process. So because you're providing quotes to the clients directly, you don't want to offer some kind of complicated home service like plumbing or electrical or some other high sort of risk, tricky to quote, big job service industry, okay? You want to keep it simple. Cleaning, right? Car detailing, lawn care, snow removal, these super basic services that you can basically provide quotes with for people online. It helps streamline the operations, and it's a super important criteria that you want to make sure you hit. It's one of the only 2 you actually need to keep note of. Moving over to the location, the 2 criteria when it comes to picking your location, which is what we're going to be doing on day 1, the setup, choosing your niche plus your location. And I'm going to get into some of the top performing niches of the year in a second here. But for location, you need to match these 2 criteria: market demand and population size. So for population size, it doesn't matter too much about what the population size of the city is, as long as it's above 250,000. I find anything beneath that, you're getting into a risky zone where, hey, am I able to scale this business to $1, $2, $3 million a year? Or am I gonna hit a cap because I'm servicing every single client in the city that wants, cleaning, lawn care, whatever niche you're in. Next is the market demand. And so that means, are people actually wanting this service? Like, you can't do pest control in Calgary. You can't do snow removal in Florida. You can't do house cleaning in a super small city with no market cap, right? Like, you need people that are actually willing to pay for the service. And so make sure that whatever it is you're offering actually has demand there. Like, pest control is a lot more common in Florida and the US than it is somewhere in some cities in Canada, right? But it doesn't really matter where you pick, whether it's in your state, your country, a different province, right? It doesn't matter. Location, it's remote, it can be anywhere. It just has to hit these 2 criteria. One bonus criteria to keep in mind that doesn't affect things too much, but something to seriously consider, is you don't want to start a snow removal company in the middle of summer. You don't want to start a lawn care service, right, in the middle of winter. So keep in mind the seasonality of everything. Window washing, right, not as great during rain season, or maybe it's better, right? Just keep in mind the demand of the services throughout the year. Now, getting into the top performing niches of the year. These are the 5 niches that I've seen people have the most success with. My personal students, like I said, I've had over 100 different students I've worked with. These are the ones that people have seen the most success with the fastest. So getting into them, at the number 5 spot, we have home cleaning. Super popular, it works year round, you can start it whenever, and probably one of the most basic or most common when it comes to drop servicing or starting a remote service company. Number 4, we have lawn care. Super great. Long term, builds super sustainable reoccurring profits. People are signing up month after month after month, coming back year after year. Like the lifetime value of a client here is going to be like $2,000-$3,000 plus. So super great for longevity, easy, consistent growth with zero to little pushback. Then we have window washing. It's higher ticket, it's quicker wins, less competition than home cleaning or lawn care because not everybody can do it. And so I've seen great success with this over the past year. Junk removal, coming into the number 2 spot, something I recently tested for the first time, and wow, did it just kill. Lots of money to be made. I had a student who did $18,000 their first month with over 60% profit margins. So great niche to get into if you're looking to start this. And coming into the number 1 spot where I've seen the most success with this year is going to be car detailing. I had 2 students back to back do over $10,000 in revenue their very first month. And majority of that, once again, is profit. So lots to charge, little to pay, good margins. This is a great niche to get into right now. So these are the top performing niches of the year. And with that, wraps up day 1. So for day 1, you just really want to do your research. Decide, hey, what niche am I getting into? What location am I getting into? Super easy, light work day 1 while you're just getting intro to this business. We're going to move over here, follow the line, pop back up, and we're just looking at a day 2 now. Marketing, branding, and client acquisition. So how to get the absolute best clients. So here's how you're going to get the best clients, the highest paying clients, the clients you want that are going to push your business forwards. First, you have to start off with some branding, okay? Company name, company logo, and company email. So use GPT. Move super quick on these steps, okay? You don't want to get caught up on what the name or what the logo is or what your email is, okay? You don't need a fancy @customdomain.com email. Just use Gmail, okay? Move quick. This isn't the make or break for the business, and this doesn't really matter. Okay, moving over to this side of branding though, website, it's optional, but you might need it depending what marketing channel you're gonna go with. And so if you do have to use it, you don't wanna move as quick here, you wanna be thorough, you wanna make sure it gets done right, okay? But you can still get it done within a day, super easy. Your 2 options are do it yourself or find someone else to do it for you. So if you're gonna do it yourself, I've attached here a link to a tutorial from my web designer that he's created personally for you guys on how to create a home service business website. The other options are outsource it, and so you can get someone cheap to do it for you on Fiverr, or you can actually hire me. I have a web design agency myself, and so if you want me to build out your website, I will personally lay out, plan, build the website. You can click this link here, let me know what it is you're looking for, I'll get in touch, we'll hop on a call, I'll let you know all the details. So if you want to outsource the work, Fiverr or me, if you want it done right, kind of true tried and tested websites for this company. But I highly recommend if you're starting on a budget, just do it yourself. This tutorial goes into detail and shows you everything that I know, everything that I would do to build a website. And so that's going to be the best practice. Now, do you need a website or not? It just depends. If you're going for free/cheap marketing, you do not need a website. If you're going for the other option, which is paid and automated marketing, you do need a website. Let me get into details about this and then we'll move over to the next. So flyers, I put an asterisk beside here because it's not free, but it is cheap. Now you could make it free if you just use printing paper at home, but even then, that still costs money. So I'm counting for every penny here. Super great way though is just build some flyers, go hang them up on doors. Number 1 thing you want to focus on here is offer. So don't just hang up flyers saying, hey, I do cleaning. Hang up flyers saying 20% off your first clean, right? That's what's going to get people in the door. You can go door-to-door knocking for lawn care, window washing, even cleaning services. You can cold call. Now, cold calling works great if you want to do commercial and call businesses. It's less ideal for just calling out random people residential. But if you want to do cold outreach for residential, you can go over to Facebook groups. That's a great place. Other things are just referrals by asking friends and family if they know anyone who needs a cleaning service, letting them know you've started your own cleaning company. And then the bottom on the list is the contact list. This is just pretty similar to referrals, but you're just dialing up every single person on your contacts list saved in your phone and just ask them, hey, I'm starting a cleaning company. Do you know anyone that needs cleaning? Hoping that they either say themselves or they can at least refer you to someone else. So these two kind of go hand in hand here. Now, the other paid and automated marketing channels are going to be Google Ads or Meta Ads. Those are pretty much the only 2 platforms you really want to run ads for these home service businesses. And it's easier than you think. And you don't need a shit ton of startup capital, okay? You only need a couple $100 to start. maybe even less than that. It sort of just depends what niche you're getting into. Now, to see how to set these up, if you want a video by me, you can watch this one here. Of course, there's tons of other tutorials on YouTube you can use, so check them out as well. But this is the video of what I would do if I started running Google Ads in 2025, specifically for the drop servicing business model. So you can click here. Like I said, link to this is in the description below. You just click here, boom, it'll bring you to the link, bring you to the video, and you can watch it. Now, that pretty much sums up day number 2 of what you're gonna set up. Main focus is just marketing. Getting your branding together, getting your marketing channel set up. Once again, shouldn't take, eons to do. Quick and easy, get this done, same day. Moving over here, we wanna transfer over to day number 3. And of course, we're gonna end with some FAQs and common concerns. But zooming to day number 3, it's about operations and then outsourcing plus sales. So that's basically what we're gonna cover here. Bring this into full screen. And this is what the workflow looks like, okay? So you picked your niche, you know what you're doing, your branding's all set up, you're marketing now, and you got your first lead. That's pretty much where we're up to right now. So from the time you get your lead, this is what it looks like. You get a lead, you provide that lead a quote, you collect payment from that lead after they approve the quote, then you outsource the work, get someone else to complete it for you, you confirm that the work was completed properly and the customer is satisfied. Once the customer is satisfied, you're gonna go ahead and pay out whatever percent to your outsourcer, to the person who completed the job, your service provider. So, 1, for the leads, you get these from your marketing campaigns. 2, you provide a quote double of whatever the outsourcer is charging. So, if the outsourcer says, yeah, I'll do it for $100, you're gonna pass it on to the client for $200. Be sure to follow up fast with these leads and give them their quote quick, because speed to lead is what's gonna start printing you money in no time. Once the lead approves the quote, you wanna collect payment in full even before servicing them. So collect the $200, and once they pay that, you'll get them booked in and scheduled with their outsourcer, which is number 4, have the outsourcer complete the work. So you just book it in, you pick a time, the client will let you know a time that they prefer their clean, or you can let them know sort of what your outsourcer's availability is. You rearrange the dates that works for both your outsourcer and your client, and you book them in. Put a little reminder on your Google Calendar just so you can keep track of everything. That way, when the job's complete, you know to check in and just confirm with the client that everything was done right. Once you confirm the job has been completed properly, then you want to ask the client for a review, and if you're able to send them an invoice that gives them the option to tip with their credit card, that's going to make you extra bonus money, and you can pass that off to your outsourcer for doing good work, or split the tips 50-50 as well. Once the client has fully paid, fully satisfied, they left their good review, then you can go ahead and pay the outsourcer at the end of the day, or if possible, at the end of the week or end of the month. So I pay out my service provider at the very end of the month. On the first of each month, I pay him for all previous jobs that were completed the month before. This helps with business cash flow and helps me scale a lot faster. But if you can arrange something like that, just get it set up so you're paying them once every week or so. Now, the outsourcer never talks to the client themselves. They act as your employee. Would your employee go and talk about pricing or talk about this, that, and the other? Especially just a laborer, right? No, that's not their task. That's the admin, that's the receptionist task. That's your job, okay? All client communications are done through you, unless they see him at the property. Hey, hello, nice to meet you. And then just continues on with their work, right? Casual conversation. But the cheaper the outsourcer, the better, okay? So they don't talk to the client, and what we're going for right now is cheaper outsourcers. Because then you can provide the lead with a lower quote. And if you can charge them, 80 instead of 100, they're more likely to approve that. The other end is you could just, let's say you have an outsourcer charging 100 and you have another one charging 80. When a client comes in, you're gonna charge them 200 regardless, whatever outsourcer you're using. So who would you rather use? The guy charging you $100 or the guy charging you $80? Assuming their service quality is the same, you'd rather go with the guy charging $80 because then you'll make 120 profit instead of just 100 when you charge 200 on that deal. So you can either charge lower and close more deals if you find someone cheaper, or you can charge the same and close the same amount of deals but make more profit on top of it. So do less work but make more money. Either way, you just want to go with the person who's cheap. So reach out to a bunch of different outsourcers and lock in the one who's going to be the cheapest. Okay, going over to FAQ and common concerns. And this I have blurred out here. I'll get into it at the end, but this is the one thing that everybody wants to know. So I'm going to start with questions first, and then I'm going to go over to common concerns like, how do I know if they're good? I'm worried they may steal my clients, things like that. So questions, marketing. This is the Google Ads tutorial. If you want to know how to set up the ads to do it yourself, go here. Otherwise, just pay someone else to do it. How long does it take for the ads to work? Great question. It's going to work literally within a matter of days. You set your ads live, you run it at like 10, 20 bucks a day, whatever it is you're spending, and within the first few days, you should get leads, and within those first few leads, you should close a deal. It doesn't take much, okay? It's quick, it's easy. 100 bucks in should get you $200, $300, $400, $500 back out and a couple of closed deals. Leads are not super expensive, paid ads are not super complicated. That's why I highly recommend you just get into them from the start if you have a couple bucks to spare. Now, niche, what's the most profitable? There's no most profitable. Really, I've seen, even though cleaning was number 5 on the list, my client with the biggest company that I've ever worked with is doing, 40, 50, 60K a month with his cleaning company. And it was number 5 on my list, right, for sort of the top niches of the year. And so even though his is the most profitable, it's, not necessarily the best. That's not going to be the one that's going to make you the most money, which is the other question here. Do whatever interests you. Do wherever the market has demand, okay? If there's market demand, that's going to be the best niche. And if it's of interest to you, that's going to be the best niche. The one that makes you the most money is the one that you're going to take the furthest. So it's not the niche or the location that's going to depend sort of how much you make. It's going to be you and your efforts, and what you put into the business is what you're going to get out. There's no special trick, secret sauce for a niche location. Of course, there's certain things you have to look at, criteria, market research. Otherwise, there's no magic, hey, do this one, okay? Because they're all going to work great. Now, where's the best place to set up? Same thing, is just market demand and seasonality. And so if you can choose a location that, maybe lawn mowing is 6 months a year rather than 11 or 10 or 12 even, right? Obviously, the 12-month a year is going to be the best place to set up. Otherwise, outside of the demand for the service or the season of the service, there's no best place to set up. Like I said, you just want to make sure the population's high enough so you can scale and that people actually want the service in the city you're setting up in. For outsourcing, how many outsourcers do I need? You just need one. One badass motherfucker who can service clients for you is all you need, but sometimes it's great to have backups. So work with a few people. Schedules vary, and so it's nice to have a few options to talk to, and just prioritizing giving jobs to the person who does the best and also is the cheapest. Now, how do I find good outsourcers? Go on a Facebook Marketplace, look up, cleaners in XYZ city or car detailers in Chicago, right? Look up the service provider niche in the city that you want to service on Facebook, and those are the people that you're going to reach out to service clients for you. They're going to be charging super cheap rates, which is why when a client reaches out to you from your Google ads, which is more of like a premium marketing channel for people who want high quality services, fast, reliable, right? That's what you are. You're the premium brand. And so you're going to find outsourcers on Facebook charging $100 a car detail, whereas you're charging your clients from Google $200, right? And that's why it works out. And I'm going to get into that concern in a second here of why would someone pay me more when they can just go direct? And I'll get to that in a sec. But these are all the questions that I've answered. If you have any more, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I reply to everything. So I'm an open book. Anything you have, anything you're curious about, just let me know. At the end of the day, I'm here to help out. I'm here to make you money. On the other side of this, we have concerns, okay? What if something happens at my client's property? Who's liable? So if something breaks, something gets damaged to your client's property, the outsourcer is actually the one who's liable. They're the ones who broke it, right? Not you. And so I also have contracts, which you can download, again, in the link in the description, that you can get your outsourcer to sign, which basically voids all liability on you and puts it on them. Contract says, hey, I'm liable if I break shit at a client's property. So they sign it, break it, steal it, lose it, whatever, okay? They sign it, they're not liable, okay? So you don't have to worry about any sort of mishaps or getting insurance, anything like that. If you have an LLC, you're already protected by that separate entity. A lot more details to get into that don't really matter if you're just starting out. Don't worry about these minor details if you're starting out. Don't let that procrastinate or delay you from getting going. Get going, make it happen, okay? You're gonna be good. Nothing's gonna break, and if it does, it's on them, not on you. Now, how do I know if my outsourcer is good? At the end of the day, you just don't. You gotta time out, put them on one property. If they mess up, maybe give them a second life. If they mess up 2 times in a row, scrap them, find someone new. Quick process. Really, just business is all about just diving in, making mistakes, and learning from them. And that's the only way you can do this. So just find someone, try them out. Doesn't work, fine, get someone else, okay? Worst case scenario, you just refund a client or they don't get to pay you, whatever, okay? So be it, move on. There's hundreds, there's thousands more clients you can secure, so you don't have to worry about just the one, especially if it's just your first. Now I'm worried my outsourcer may steal my client. I spelled that wrong there. Now I'm worried my outsourcer may steal my client. That's not going to happen. And if it does, same thing, toss them out of there. The contract that you got them to sign for the liability also says, hey, I'm not allowed to steal the clients, or I don't get paid, and I owe you $1,000 in cash. Okay? So they're signing that agreement. They're agreeing to those terms. So if they do steal your client, you can't take legal action against them. The other side of that is they don't typically steal, because You ask them, hey, what do you charge? They said $100 for a detail. Okay, they go to the client. Why are they gonna say, hey, I'll do it cheaper? They don't even know what you're charging the client. And that's part of the way you negotiate the deal, right? You don't say we'll split it 50-50. You just ask what their prices are and then take it and double it and pass that on to your client. So they don't really talk to the client too. You handle all communications. They also don't collect payment from the client because you collect payment. So there's not a lot of overlap or areas for conflict of interest, meaning areas where they have the opportunity to steal the client from you unless they blatantly go up and say something like that. But why would they? Because they're getting paid exactly what they asked to be paid for it. So all they're going to do there is bite the hand that was feeding them, because you're feeding them these leads and now they've completely lost that marketing channel, which is you providing them all these free customers just to do their job that they've already been doing, right? So it just doesn't typically happen. I've never seen it happen with over 100 different students. Never once have I seen this happen. So it's really something people worry about a lot. That is the lowest concern. Now, I don't think my outsourcer will agree to a 50-50 split. I get that a lot too. You don't tell them it's a 50-50 split. You ask them what the rates are and you double it. People on Facebook charge cheap. People looking for services on Google don't mind paying more. And so you're just getting in front of a premium audience and then outsourcing it to a lower startup, smaller owner-operated business, okay? Cheaper business. That's where you win, okay? Now, why would someone pay me more rather than going directly to the outsourcer? Outside of like just the marketing, right, and being in front of those higher paying clients, okay, it's sort of a combination of luxury branding, which is where your marketing comes into play, and convenience, okay? Why don't I get someone cheaper? Well, why does anyone pay anyone anything? Like, why do you pay a restaurant 5 times as much for a meal when you could just go and make it yourself? Or why do you pay someone to skip the dishes to bring you your food when you could just go out and get the food yourself? Because everyone knows there's an extra fee. They charge more for it. And if you feel like that isn't a fair comparison, then how about if you were to get cleaning services, or your mother, or you're doing a move out clean, okay, your lease is ending, right? Why do you hire a cleaning company to do the cleaning service instead of just posting an ad on Indeed or a job platform and hiring an employee yourself and getting them to do it for minimum wage, right? Why don't you do that? Well, because it's inconvenient. You don't know if the person showing up is going to do a good job. And so when you brand yourself on marketing with Google, people think you're going to do a good job. Now, in the beginning, you're right. Like, maybe you just have the same shitty outsourcers they could have found on Facebook, but they don't necessarily know that. And of course, with due time, you're going to find vetted, secured, tested outsourcers that are going to be able to provide a high quality service. And that's why people are going to go with you, because that's the kind of service they expect, okay? You're going to have refund policies. You're going to have guarantees, right? You're going to have a fancy looking website that's going to make people trust you. So luxury branding plus good marketing and the convenience is why people are going to go directly to you. It's the same reason why someone, right? Why would you get a Lambo when you can get a Honda, right, for cheaper? Well, the Lambo just comes with more features. It looks nicer. It's better status. I know I can trust it, more reliable, whatever it may be, whatever the reasonings are, right? That's why people go to you and pay more. So it's just the USP, unique selling position, and how you sell yourself and how you brand your company. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the one thing that everybody wants to know. I hope that I answered all your questions, all your concerns. Now, does this actually work? The number one thing you need as an entrepreneur to actually make something happen, to actually make something work, is motivation. So if you have any doubts at all that this doesn't actually work, or you're confused, or you're just not trustworthy, or you just want a little extra push to say, yeah, okay, I can see the vision now, you can check out this video on my YouTube where I interview Josh, who has a remote cleaning company where he's making over $40,000 a month every single month.